all your research today. So this Good morning, folks. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you, Diane. I want to get that right out of the box. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Thank you for being here. Where were you when? Right? Where we get Diane. Hi, how are you, Diane? Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Good to know you're just there. Give me number 53 if it's available. Where were you when? And I think authorities are going to want to know where you were at. I think you will be questioned. Where were you during the great egg heist in Pennsylvania? Where were you? When a whole trailer, 100,000 eggs were stolen, where were you during the great egg heist in Pennsylvania? Why, this is right around 40K in eggs. Couple chickens, right? There you go. So what if the robbers were wearing chicken costumes? That would be pretty neat. That'd make a nice movie. The bird flu, just in time. Just in time for Waffle House to put a 50-cent surcharge on your little egg order for you to stand in line, go from $3 a dozen to $6, $7, $8, and $9. The bird flu, just in time, right? Biden killed 1 million chickens. 1 million chickens. Now we have a shortage of eggs. The bird flu. Where were you when 40K went out the window? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, you remember, what was that commercial? The Incredible Edible Egg. Remember that? So we're going to talk about the Incredible Edible Egg. There was a protest yesterday. Protest. Number 49. They are losing it. And this is yesterday. Musk doesn't even go here. The Muskie, they're mad. But look at the two masked marauders. I mean, you do know you're outside. You can't make this up. Protests. Lawmakers rally against Trump's stop work order for USAID employees. Now, just like that, they're killing children. Yes. I mean, if we can't freak out, we have to do something. They're killing kids. Let's go ahead with give me video 17.
There really is something so horrifying about a child starving in Sudan being far more likely to starve to death because the world's richest man is going around calling people that are administering that aid worms. And let me explain this again for those who have ears to hear. David Ignatius.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we back? That tore me up. We're killing the kids. Oh, my God. Now, yes, they're killing children. And the bags of rice that say USAID. Nothing about regime change. Nothing about Politico getting 8 mil. Nothing. So it seems like just yesterday, here's the children that Trump cares about. We care about all the children of the world. Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world. Red and yellow, black and white, brown, they are precious in his sight. So that's the bottom line. All around the world, Jesus loves the little children. But we have to be concerned about the kids across the street, not the ocean. That's my opinion. First things first. Give me number 77 and then 78. These are the kids. These are the kids that Trump cares about. This was absolutely amazing. Look at these little girls. All right. Boys, school system, you will not get federal funding if you allow boys to participate in girls' sports. Simple as that. Title IX. Now, number 78, look at this picture here. So before we get into, look at that. The kids, all right? Trump said, come on around here. He looked at the Secret Service and said, if this is making you nervous, right? Trump surrounded himself with female athletes. Now, what made my day is I told you yesterday, and we're going to move right along, but the killing of the children. Here's my picture of the day. Diane, we call this, I might start a picture of the day. If you can pull up 112. All right. And I know I'm all over the map, Diane, so I appreciate it. But yesterday, look at this little girl. Now I have a tissue out. All right. He wants to know if she wants a pen. He just signed an executive order protecting this little girl from predators, that she could play sports. And the reason this one's big for me is because I told you Sunday I had lunch with my granddaughter. She's telling me she's this age right here, and she's telling me about softball and signing up. She played last year, and she went to tryouts, and how she could throw the ball this year. That's my picture of the day. So anyhow, yes, they are losing it. Take that down, Diane. Yes, they're absolutely going nuts because they think that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are trying to kill children worldwide. So let me say this, because we're going to break that down. And there's a couple things I want to clarify today. So one is yesterday, I really wish, and I say this, all due respect out there, I really wish we had media, I really wish we had journalists that would actually do that job. And I'm serious. I would do it if I could. There's only so much time in a day. I would love to have a staff because I understand what a story is. And I know that was very arrogant. I'm seeing all the, what I call the storm chasers, the drive-by. These are not stories. All right. Because I see all this. I'm in Georgia. If you're new, and from sea to shining sea or internationally, I'm in the state of Georgia, the great state of Georgia. And we have grifters, drive-bys, and storm chasers, and we do not have real journalists. We go from the AJC in Georgia, yes, to what I call storm chasers that are just, sensationalized stuff. I wish, like anything in the state of Georgia, we had a true journalist to tear the state budget apart. $40 billion mid-year state budget. Now, I'm going to explain some things that when I go through social media, I see some things that are not correct as far as how the process and how some things work. But a $40 billion budget here in Georgia, we're going to talk about that. I really wish I had somebody digging into that to lay it out, because the mid-year, and what does that mean in Georgia? The mid-year state budget is going to be voted on today, $40 billion. And yet they say, we're conservatives. And yet they say, we're going to give you 1/1 of 1/10 of 1/10 of 1/10, and we're going to return it to you, the taxpayers. You're going to get a refund. What? All right, anyhow, that is something happening right there. Now, second, there's a couple things we're going to go into. Second, I was on social media yesterday, and somebody said, oh, great, this nominee, and this individual has followers on social media. Oh, great, Trump's nominee right here has been approved and is the new blank, blank, blank. It's not true. It's not true. If you don't understand committee, a vote to close debate, and then a vote to approve, shut the hell up. Don't tweet out something you don't know. So we're going to cover that, because I'm going to clear that up, because people are like, well, wait a minute. Is RFK, is he approved? Is this one approved? Clear that up. Now, the last one that I call clearing up, this goes back to I wish we had journalists. I support Colton Moore. And the reason I do this right now, because from sea to shining sea, as I say, from Pennsylvania to Texas, most people now know our state senator, Colton Moore, in Georgia. Most do. most know all the things that have taken place and all the things that he has exposed, and he's done a great job. And I look at the camera and tell you, yesterday and today and tomorrow, I anticipate tomorrow, I support Colton Moore. I look in the camera. I support him, the state senator. He has brought attention to some very serious things in the state. He has my support. But what does not have my support are the storm chasers, the grifters, and the people whooping people up in a frenzy, and even a publication that claims to be investigative journalism, putting something out without background. So you have heard, and not saying it's not possible, but you need some explanation. You're hearing that Colton Moore filed for arrest charges against Keith Williams. Is that his name, or whatever his name is? The guy that threw him on the ground. We're going to clear that up. So those are a couple things we're going to do. Now, before we get into USAID, I'm sitting here this morning wondering, what direction do I go in? Because they are losing it. So yesterday I did about a 1 hour on Israel and Donald Trump's statements, President Trump's statements concerning the Gaza Strip. And I got several messages back, concerning my segment on that. I just want to be clear without going into great detail. At my young age, I've grown up my whole life, all the way from Jimmy Carter at my young age, of hearing two-state solution. Every single person that has come to the microphone during the last 60 years, especially, of conflict with Palestinians and Israelis, read the same script that's been written for them from the CIA, and we'll go through the list. You know who they are. Nothing has changed. Kamala Harris campaigned on two-state solution. Biden said two-state solution. George W. said two-state solution. Bill Clinton. All I'm really saying right now, and we will dig into it a little further, is it's not I agree, but thank God Donald Trump didn't just sit there and say two-state. Oh, here, read this. This is our statement that we read every time. And he didn't do it. He opened the door for a discussion. And Donald Trump will push the envelope, open the door for discussion on everything. And that's one of the many things I like about him, is he pushes the door open to talk about it, not in the political stand at the podium and read the notes that's been prepared from some speechwriter and someone in a back room. It's Donald Trump. There you go. So I know Rand Paul has come out and he's a little upset over it. And I'm not telling you I agree that we need to go to Gaza tomorrow and build the new Trump Tower. Moving right along. Oh, number 3, Diane. This is one of my favorites. Diane, did I ask you how you are? How are you? Diane, could you keep an eye on me today? You never know when I'm going to say something like a name. That's where I go rogue, right? Is on the names. Every once in a while I just start flying out a name. Okay? So the first time I fly out an incorrect name, it's my fault. The second time is almost my fault. The third time, it's your fault. No, it's just a joke, okay? Everybody relax. I'm in a great mood today. Shock and all, and I appreciate it. Diane kind of keeps an eye and ear on what names I use. Shock and all. So I got up last night. You do know Donald Trump, and I really like this. I study the media. I really do. The deep state, corporate, corrupt media. I have studied the media for years. The legacy media. All right. And if you can't believe them on Monday, and that's what upsets me with some of the things that are going on in Georgia, I want to believe, especially one particular publication, I want to believe the story you put out. But then if you will put out something like what I read yesterday, and you don't do some fact checking, what would I believe the next story that comes out? And that goes with the legacy media. I'm very critical of it. So if I can't believe you on Monday, why should I believe you on Tuesday? Why should I trust a damn thing out of your mouth on Wednesday? Why should I not ask that you go to Gitmo on Thursday? And why should I not get the day off on Friday? Now, here's the thing, okay? How do I put this? You remember back in the old days. Now, for you kids out there, listen to me. Pull up a stool, all right? You remember back in the old days, this is what happened, kids, this is what used to happen in the old days. Now, maybe not for everybody, but for me. I used to watch 60 Minutes in the old days. Mike Wallace, right? What are the other guys? But anyhow, the old days, I used to watch 60 Minutes. And I would watch it, and I would almost enjoy many of the stories, and a lot of times I'd be interested in the stories on 60 Minutes, okay? Trump sued ABC, and George Stephanopoulos had to apologize, and ABC had to come through, right? ABC had to come through with $15 million and said, here, we'll give you $15 million and we will put it in the Trump library account. A lot of people got upset. But I did not believe ABC before that day. I don't believe anything they say now. Zero credibility. I mean, if you get the applausometer right out, the credibility in any of these networks are gone. You know, CNN, MSNBC, Morning Joe, ABC, George Stephanopoulos, CBS. So we've talked about it before. That, you know, Trump sued CBS because of what? Kamala Harris interview. They edited the interview, and I mean really chopped it down. So 60 Minutes, this is the FCC. I don't want to bypass this. Give me number 85. The FCC forced CBS, because Trump's suing CBS, and CBS, you're going to see a major settlement. Watch what happens. So, there you go. Uncut 60 Minutes Kamala Harris interview reveals word salad response were heavily edited by CBS. Snipped Israel answer into just 20 words. I think she spent 4 or 5 minutes or 6 minutes on Israel, and they snipped it down. So, number 79. All the damning moments CBS cut out of the Kamala Harris 60-minute interview as bombshell raw tapes are released. Now, there's a lawsuit, as I said, that Trump has, and the FCC, Donald Trump claimed the sit-down had been rigged, and the unearthed version now shows that CBS only aired 20 minutes of Kamala Harris talking compared to 60 minutes that were filmed. Now, here's the point. They made a big deal in the campaign. Now, we have to stop everything. I'm okay with what Elon's doing. We have to stop everything in its tracks. Freeze right here. Don't move. And that has to be the media. Because don't forget, remember, was it Leslie Stahl? Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it Leslie Stahl on 60 Minutes? Was it Donald Trump's 60-minute interview where Leslie Stahl said, you can't talk about the laptop? Remember that? Remember? Now, only, fortunately, right, CBS 60 Minutes, in that interview that Donald Trump did for the 2020 campaign with Leslie Stahl, where she said, you can't talk. No, you can't, sir, we can't confirm that, so you can't talk about that. Right? Remember that? CBS. All right? Now, CBS, then the CBS should say CIA. It should say CIA, and I'm going to explain in a minute. Then, fortunately, Donald Trump recorded the interview himself. He had his team stand to the side and had a video camera put up. So when he came out of that interview, you and I were able to see the uncut, no edits video. Now, stay with me. So on the 60 Minutes interview, this one here, they made a big deal that Donald Trump turned the interview down. Remember that? Donald Trump turned our interview down, these people trying to manipulate our elections. When are we going to stop this in its tracks? So 60 Minutes, here's the reason. I told you I have the tape. Diane will remember this. When Donald Trump refused to do this interview, the reason is 60 Minutes told him he could not bring his own video and release it. It had to belong to 60 Minutes because the last time Trump released his own video. So Trump says, look, you want me, okay? You want me to come do the interview. Here's what happens. You sign a document that you will release the unedited interview with myself, and you will release the unedited video with her. CBS wouldn't do it. Said no. Well, I will film my own. Nope, you can't. CBS owns the rights. So CBS comes out and they start telling everybody Trump refused our interview, trying to manipulate it. Then this lady sits down and does an interview and they chop the hell out of it. I mean, they chop it inside and out. Remember? Trump has to. Thank God for what Trump does. I'm serious. No one else. Think of all of our Republicans, all of them. Do you know how many times that the networks did that to George W? Do you know how many times the networks did that to Mittens Romney? Do you know how many times the networks did that to even Ronald Reagan? Hi, Ronald. Happy birthday. Do you know how many times? All the time. Did we ever go to court and say, no, we want to push back? No, because we always had someone in the FCC or in the agencies that would stop us of the deep state, CIA, CBS, in its tracks. So when you think, and this is my opinion, because all I know is my study right here, when you think that Donald Trump is not serious about the deep state and getting everything out of the swamp, keep in mind, I think you could change the name from CBS to CIA. Now, moving right along. So they would not meet his terms. And the only terms Donald had, or the president, Mr. President, my apologies, the only terms the president had was, hey, you release mine, you release hers. No, can't do it. We're going to manipulate this. We're going to edit it, and we're going to lie and tell people you refused and you wouldn't sit down with us, and we're going to make her look as good as we can, the extra lighting, makeup, and editing, and we're going to do everything we can to help them steal the election. Fact. Now, so give me 83. Now, most Americans watched the two sides, all right? We watched the two sides. We got the clip of the two sides. We watched that. So yesterday, remember Catherine Herridge, CBS, right? Was it Cheryl Atkinson? Did Cheryl Atkinson work at CBS when her computer just started typing? Did Cheryl Atkinson, look this up for me, get me some word back. Did Cheryl Atkinson work for CBS when it started just typing? When Catherine Herridge got an email and they froze and locked her out all of her documents, CBS, because of the laptop. So now, thank God, no one ever thought about pushing back. Donald Trump suing CBS. It's going to be a major settlement. Now, in that, I also told you, right, Mike Turner, the House, right, National Security chair on the Foreign Intelligence Committee, the House Foreign Intelligence Committee, Mike Rogers. Is it Mike Rogers? Mike Turner? Whatever the hell. Mike. Anyhow, the guy, right? Mike Johnson, whoop, you're out of here. I told you, go look it up. He would show up on CBS, Face the Nation, with Margaret Brennan at least twice a month. CIA. That's my opinion. Now, Trump does what? Sues these people. He has the guts. He has the gonads. He has the nerve. He has the courage. He doesn't back down. He sues them. He puts a guy in the FCC, right? Is that it? FCC, do I have it correct? We'll move along. That says, you know what? I want it released. And they have to release it. Now, I didn't have anything better to do. But when there was things, I had options yesterday. I mean, I had a to-do list. Diane, give me this one here, 79 again. Thank you, Diane. 79, please. All right. But when this came out and it said all the damning moments, I said, oh my God, don't say all the damning moments. I watched the entire interview, the unedited interview. It is a sad day. I will tell you this, it's a sad day in America of what has happened to 60 Minutes. It's a sad day in America what has happened to any of our media outlets that has taken place, but we have zero choice. When I say that, zero choice. We must take them down. We must shut them down. That's my opinion. Well, don't you believe in freedom of speech? Yes, I do. But I do believe it's time to shut all of these networks down. Diane, give me number 11. Now, I usually I don't do a screenshot of this one here. I watched that whole interview. I watched the whole thing because I didn't want to just get the headline of all this, and I did not, because it was getting whooped up into a frenzy. I said, well, let me see if it's yes. You will see on CBS, I predict very soon a large settlement with attorney's fees. I mean, I think Donald Trump's I think the Donald Trump library will come with 18 floors of rooms where you could stay and enjoy yourself for a week. By the time he's done. Oh, I cracked myself up. I normally don't do this like boom CNN, but I'm going to put this in the vault, right? And you know how last year I did I do the year in review, right? This says Thursday, CNN. It's Thursday, February 6, 2025. This is the day. You send the email in. You send the email in saying from your government email address saying resign, and we'll pay you to get the hell out of here, or you're fired. I want to keep this because I do think this will be an important day in history. So as we close and we come back, oh, by the way, let's not do this. Let's go ahead and do CBS. Let's stay with CBS. So USAID, all right? I may play this further in the program, but video 16, Morning Joe, CBS.
The State Department coming on and saying, I've spent my life works at PEPFAR. I've spent my life working within U.S. agencies like this one. This is life or death stakes here when you talk about toying with and potentially ripping apart USAID. So it's not like the pushback isn't there, but do you think it would work?
I think it needs to be sustained. It reminds me a little bit of the kind of 1990s and the war in Bosnia, when you had night after night, you had reporters in Sarajevo reporting back what was happened. And finally, Bill Clinton got involved and we had the Dayton Accords and something happened. Now, if you had a pressure campaign, I was watching CBS News actually last night at the risk of naming a competitor, and there was a fantastic report from Sudan with literally starving children taking food from USAID pouches. The USAID has been fantastic at advertising the fact that it's American. So whenever you see those big sacks, they have USAID written on it for a reason. It is the soft power. Now, I think if there was a campaign, a sustained media campaign showing these children, this tiny baby was literally there drinking from a USAID bottle. That child won't survive if it doesn't get that USAID aid. I don't think Americans are appreciating yet what the impact of this cut will have. But if they start to see that, Americans won't like it. And I think President Trump could be susceptible to that public pressure campaign. But I look at Elon Musk and the glee with which he is destroying this agency. I'm calling them worms, calling them evil, calling them vicious. And saying he sent the...
Now that I know you were watching a CBS story last night, concerned nothing about regime change. You remember, it seems like it was just yesterday that all of these liberal left wackos wanted to hire 80,000 IRS agents. Seems like just yesterday they wanted to hire 80,000 IRS agents to look at us, you and I, the American people. They wanted to look at our expenses. They wanted to get into our bank accounts. They wanted access to our data. They wanted to know if your grandmother sent you over $600 while at college, Venmo. They wanted to stop Venmo. They wanted to make sure that your mom or dad didn't buy you anything. They wanted to make sure you didn't trade your truck or just give it to your brother. Remember, it seems like it was just yesterday that 80,000, you remember, it seems like, let's see, okay? Wait a minute. It seems like it was just yesterday that Janet Yellen came out, and they came out and said that in tax fraud, right? Tax fraud, right? Tax cheats. You and I, the American people, we need 80,000 people to review because we are losing in our treasury billions and billions of dollars that belong to the U.S. government in the treasury from tax cheats. Remember that? Seems like just yesterday they needed to extort more money from us, and they needed to look at our revenue, and they needed to make sure we were giving them, instead of the tax theft being from us. Oh, you don't like that. So we're going to go through and look at every criminal activity. We're going to go through and look at where trannies, as what's her name said yesterday from South Carolina, what's her name? Nancy Mace was saying trannies and they melted down, right, in the Democrat. Quit saying trannies, right? That's a LGBTQ slur. Tranny, don't you like it? Hey, listen. So you look at me, but God forbid we look at anything. God forbid we look at, take a break.
Days Chevrolet Jasper is North Georgia's business elite commercial truck giant. Box trucks, landscape trucks, flatbed and heavy hauling trucks. When you've got a job to do, we've got the commercial truck for you. And get a federal tax credit up to 100% of the purchase price. Hundreds of commercial trucks are all right here at Days Chevrolet Jasper. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you very much. You know what I like, Diane? I like when we go on break that I have to answer a question for one of the viewers from Washington State. I like that. I'm telling you, there's patriots in all 50, California, Washington states. But thank you very much out there. You know who you are. I appreciate you watching from Washington State. I want a Washington State apple. Have you ever had one? Wow. Anyhow, moving right along, I am your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Now, I have to be out at 10:30. Today is Thursday, trying to just set myself up here. I have to be out at 10:30 on the dot. But tomorrow, Friday, I will be back for all 3 hours. And then Monday, hopefully, I won't have as many interruptions as we've had this week. Now, number 92, I'm going to do this now. We're going to do the Georgia hour. We're going to try to do that in about 9:45. I want to break into Georgia about 9:45, so tell your friends that usually come in about 10 o'clock. Now, the reason I'm putting this up right now, and there may be a little confusion, and we'll talk about it in the Georgia hour. In the state of Georgia, and I love my viewer in Washington State says I love to keep up with what's happening in Georgia. So in the state of Georgia, we have Governor Brian Kemp. Just had to do that for a minute. We have our state house, which is the Democrat wing of the Republican Party, Georgia House Speaker John Burns. And then we have our Georgia State Senate. Now, out of the 3 branches, the executive, the governor's office, the state house over there, Speaker of the House, and the lieutenant governor's office, which presides over the Senate in Georgia, the closest thing, now I'm not bragging, but the closest thing we have to a conservative body in Georgia is the Senate, the Georgia State Senate. That's close as we get. So for the most part, there's a lot of Senate bills that I do not sign on to. I'm serious. No bills that I sign on to. And some, because they're coming out of the Senate, and it's, I hate to say this, it's the best we're going to get, I support. And the reason being is yesterday, so you see this right here to vote 1. Yesterday, President Trump, and this is absolutely, get your tissues. This may bring you to tears. So before we get back into the corruption side of things, let's see. Give me video 11.
Watch what I do, and then I'm going to give you some pens, okay? Are you ready? What a nice picture this is, huh, Governor? You ready? We'll do a good job. Wait, let me press that. I want to make this a really good signature because this is, this is a big one, right? Oh, I think we have a 10. We have a 10.
God bless you, Mr. President.
Pretty good, huh? I see that. Okay? Good. Now you're going to go out and win those events, right? Nice to see you all. Nice to see you. Great going, everybody. Nice to see you. Thank you, kids. Here, take a pen. I'll give some of these out, okay? Take the pen. Take the pen.
Watch what I do here. The little girl was, watch what I do here. I got to make this one. This has got to be perfect. They were hanging on everything. These beautiful, America's beautiful daughters, granddaughters, yesterday, athletes, as Donald Trump protects them from the evils and the likes of this disgusting person. I'm sorry, number 84. Remember the man that claimed he could swim with Riley Gaines. And then we're going to come back to that one. Oh, okay, there you go. In the deep end, former UPenn athletes sue to vacate Leah Thomas records as Trump signs order banning transgender athletes from women's sports. And so here's where I'm getting to, and we'll get out 92. Let's go back there. Today in the state of Georgia, this is the Senate bill. It is going to the floor for a vote. Georgia is taking a step to ensure fair competition for girls and women's sports. Contact your senators and ask them to vote yes on Senate Bill 1. That is going to be on the floor today for a vote. I am supporting a yes vote on that today. We're going to have a little more details on protecting girls' sports in Georgia about 9:45. So take that down. Now, so let me go to confirmations. Pam Bondi yesterday, we'll talk about that. We now have an attorney general, all right? We've got an attorney general, and Diane, give me number 88 if you don't mind. It's one I cropped out, okay? So we have an attorney general, Pam Bondi, now, and she's already moving, putting some things in place, in action. They're freaking out. So Trump's got it all planned for DC's deep state. And he is. He's proving things that are, we're not going to compromise. Now, you may not like that. You may say compromise is important to us. It's the American way. We are at the point today in America because we allowed people to use the phrase bipartisan and compromise while leading us to believe that's what Americans wanted, right? But that's not true. The last election proved that. The last election said, because every single thing, I am so tired of it. Well, who told Elon Musk to do this? Look, the Muskie was on the campaign trail. The Muskie was on there, all right? The Muskie was at the convention. The Muskie was at Mar-a-Lago. He had a suite. Now, everyone has known about Elon Musk going to be involved in the Trump administration. This is not, like it or not, this is not a shock. Doge. They told you. You go back and look. You know this. You know they're going to get the illegals out. You know they're going to stop wasteful spending. You know that. You know there's only two genders. You just can't stop with what they're doing. And the American people voted for it. They did not vote for compromise. They did not vote for bipartisan. They didn't. So, that being said, we have an Attorney General, Pam Bondi, but this is what I want to get to, and this is where I want to explain things. RFK Jr. has been voted out of what they call a committee, and they're stealing trillions. Give me number 46, Diane. All right, 46. And then you see that protesters, lawmakers rally against Trump's stop work order for USAID employees, and they're screaming. Here's number 45. Chuck U. Schumer, as Rush used to say. But here is not RFK Jr., not Tulsi Gabbard. We're $35 trillion in debt. You heard all along the campaign, Democrats tried to tell you Project 2025. American people didn't care. What they never told you is some of the things in Project 2025. So Democrats kept coming out during the campaign. Now listen to me. They kept coming out during the campaign and saying, do you know if Trump's elected, he's going to do this? And Trump will get 3 more votes. That's basically Democrats were campaigning for. Do you know if Trump gets elected, he will no longer have the respect for our LGBTQ community, and he will not accept a boy as a girl and protect your rights. Wow, Trump just got another 3 votes. Democrats campaigned for Trump, trying to get you to believe that they were scaring you away from Trump. Every time, and then what they would do, I watched so many networks. Diane knows this. She was along for the ride. I watched so many networks on Sunday, so many networks on Monday, so many networks every morning. And all they kept saying is that I have the graphics. Trump is really going to institute Project 2025. And it says this. And it says this. See, what they don't realize, and this is not what I'm doing right now, I'm not making a case for 2025, Project 2025. But I am telling you, there were so many things. Do you remember at the Democrat convention? Now, you remember this? I know you tried to forget it, but then again, you have a host with the most that doesn't forget. You remember the Democrat convention when they all came up there and they read excerpts of Project 25? Page 931. Blah, 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 blah. Remember that? They all took turns. They'd bring the book up and flip it. Even Keenan, whatever his name on Saturday Night Live, we'll just call him the black guy. Just say it. Remember? Right? The guy that used to do Good Burger or whatever it was back on Nickelodeon. Keenan and Kel. Remember Keenan? He even came up, read the excerpt. Every time they read an excerpt of Project 2025, Trump got more votes. All Trump had to do was say, oh, hell, what the hell are you talking about? That's all he had to do. Well, we're going to tell people what's in it. Okay, but, I'm busy. They were actually campaigning for him because I'm going to tell you, when it's out there, there's bureaucrats that don't like it. When they say they're going to shut down departments, they don't like it. But you and I, the American people, the day-to-day, the everyday people, as the song says, we thought, okay, cut it out. Now, so let me explain, as you're waiting for RFK Jr., and so am I, and you're waiting for RFK Jr., and you're waiting for Tulsi Gabbard, and so am I, and you're thankful Pam Bondi. There's this little thing going on. Number 44. Senate Democrats vow overnight session to protest Trump's most dangerous nominee. Radical, number 43, radical Russ Volt, dangerously unfit. Now, this is the example. I said this the other day on the show, and then yesterday when I noticed somebody that people follow say this one got approved, I'm like, no, that's not how it works. So let me give you the thumbnail sketch. A nominee goes before the committee that oversees their department. That's what you're watching. And they go through and they are asked questions from that committee. Then that committee votes to move them out of committee to the floor. Okay? And I brought this up the other day because there was a vote that said 50-something whatever to close debate on a nominee, and immediately people went out and started saying that this individual got approved. That's not what it means. So step one's the committee. Now, you are seeing a 9-8. Like I think Tulsi Gabbard came out of committee 9-8. That's what you're seeing. They're coming out pretty much on party line. Now, that is a recommendation only. John Thune, the majority leader, at any time could say, I'm going to put this candidate up or this nominee for a vote. But if the nominee doesn't come out of committee, when it comes out of committee, it's like this is going to work. But if it doesn't come out of committee, it's a signal to the White House, you're not going to get the votes on the floor. There you go. So it comes out of committee. Then the Senate has what's called debate on a nominee. And they could use up to 30 hours of debate for a nominee, trying to filibuster and shut it down. So the next time you hear someone came out of committee, and then the next time you hear someone, right? They voted to close debate. Most of these nominees have come out, and within a day or two, there's no debate, and they close the debate, or there's an hour and they close the debate. Now that means after the debate closes, right? After the debate closes, then the next step is to vote for approval. So on closing the debate, most people don't hear about that, but sadly, some people report it incorrectly. Now, we are waiting for RFK Jr. We are waiting for Tulsi Gabbard. Hopefully that could happen today, but this is the one right here. This is the OMB. OMB. Not oh my God, OMB. I just wanted to do that. I don't know why. And your OMB director, all right, your OMB director is the Office of the budget, period, all right? The budget. OMB. Now, Russell Voigt, they had a heart attack they're having a heart attack. His most confrontational. Let's see which one we have here. Let's see. Give me MS Video 8.
Right now on the Senate floor, as Senate Democrats are spending the night in the upper chamber protesting President Trump's nomination of Russell Vought to lead the Office of Management and Budget. While Vought will likely be confirmed still at the end of the 30 hours of allowed protests later today, Democrats are hoping to draw attention to their concerns. Vought, who's a co-author of the conservative blueprint Project 2025, has been widely linked to last week's memo that led to a freeze of all federal funding. Democrats have also sounded the alarm over his insistence that the 2020 election was rigged. Take a listen to one Democrat's warning about Vought.
When you put into the Office of Management and Budget an individual who willfully avoids and rolls over the laws of the country and says he will not abide by the separation of powers, that is a fundamental danger that all of us, having taken an oath to the Constitution, must stop. He is Donald Trump's most dangerous nominee.
Joining us.
The budget, baby. The budget. Freeze. Freeze right there. Everybody don't move. Put the money back. Put the money back. Put the money back. I will let you know when you can have some money. Freeze federal funding. 30 hours of debate. Now, it will close. They will vote to close the debate in 30 hours, and they'll move forward. But they are doing everything. This, to my knowledge, this is the only nominee that they're using 30 hours of debate. Because if you think of Doge, and we'll get to that in a minute, but if you're looking over at the USAID, and you're looking at over all these things, and you're looking at Elon Musk he's in the Treasury, and wow, double wow, whammy, right? Wait till this guy becomes the OMB director. I mean, Elon. At 12 o'clock, I get sworn in. I'd like to meet with you at 12:05. We're going to go through this budget. Oh, yes. Why do you think? Yes, we will. We're 35 trillion, 36 trillion, 37. I don't know. The trillions are just rolling right along. OMB. So the next time you hear somebody's approved, double check. Make sure they've been approved, moved out of closed debate, then for the vote. But this is the one right here that I don't hear too many talking about, and they are nervous. That's why they're spending the time. They are nervous. Elon Musk is going to get a hold of OMB. This guy was involved in writing Project 2025. Ooh, man, are they upset? Let's see. What do I have here before I go to break? We'll talk about the eggs just in time. Give me video 7. I don't even know what this one is. Video 7.
You attribute the ability to get it into district court so quickly to?
Well, first, let me just say there are lots of lawyers at Democracy Forward and elsewhere that are working night and day. It was easy to come here early this morning, that are working night and day to protect the American people in this time. And that's really sad that we have to think about how to protect the American people from their own government, but that's what we're doing. We're learning the playbook. Much of this playbook is one that we've seen before. Some of it we've seen in Project 2025. But Trump did not level with the American people at all, certainly not about Project 2025. But he also didn't level with the American people that he was really going to install Elon Musk to have access to their personal data, to go in and run roughshod over programs and communities that really matter to people. And so as
Every time Project 2025 came up during the campaign, Trump got 3 more votes when they would read a little section there, paragraph. He got 3 more votes. So Trump leveled with the American people, and Democrats tried to get their message out. But every time the Democrats put out their message, they actually pushed some more voters Trump's way. That's a bottom line. Politico, $8 million, Politico, shutting down the Board of Education, Yes, it can work. We still have to talk about the Georgia budget. We have to talk about Georgia, some political things under the Gold Dome, boys and girls sports. And we have to talk about will Keith, whatever his name, be arrested for the throwdown. Keith Williams, will he be arrested for the throwdown of State Senator Colton Moore? Take a break.
Days Chevrolet Jasper is North Georgia's business elite commercial truck giant. Box trucks, landscape trucks, flatbed and heavy hauling trucks. When you've got a job to do, we've got the commercial truck for you. And get a federal tax credit up to 100% of the purchase price. Hundreds of commercial trucks are all right here at Days Chevrolet Jasper. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender. We take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. The FCC is going to go through all of George Soros. The OMB is going to go through all the funding where it goes to. Regime change, they're going to go through all the USAID. It doesn't matter how much you scream, and they're going to shut these buildings down that are a waste of money, and they're going to reset. I think they're going to reset some of the agencies. I like zero bureaucracy, but I don't know that we got to, well, I'll say it later. Now, I'm your host, BKP. We're going to have at 9:45, because I have to get out today at 10:30. So at 9:45, Diane, we're going to run right into the Georgia Hour. So after this break, come back as the Georgia Hour, because we're going to talk about the budget. We're going to talk about girls' sports. We're going to talk about the friction under the Gold Dome in Atlanta. And we're going to talk about will Keith Williams, the guy that body slammed Colton Moore, get arrested? So we're going to talk about that, right? All right, so we continue with Donald Trump, number 3. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. And we continue with Donald Trump's shock and awe. I don't know what he'll do today. I mean, I haven't taken a nap in 2 weeks. I'm not getting a nap. I mean, I'm working weekends. I'm having to get up in the morning and check, see what he's done. Just saying. All right. So let me just say this to you. All right. Now, the Biden administration has only been gone, the corruption in the Biden administration has only been gone 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks. Janet Yellen, the freak, the man that thinks he's a woman, HHS, Commerce, Interior, the whole entire freak show has only been gone 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Okay, that's all right. All right. Now, I understand, and I don't come on this program and make excuses. I understand. This morning, Donald Trump is president of the United States, and he has said, folks, if you only knew, were aware, are aware of the mess, the disaster that was left, and we do. So America, for the most part, is okay. Now, we have some rioting going on, and I mean, they are protesting, and Diane, and they want rid of Elon Musk, workers over billionaires, right? So this is from Politico, number 28. What is that one? Oh, I got that one in a minute. Number 28, right? Labor Department workers fear they're next. That's from Politico. Politico. There's something about Politico. Something about that. Let's see. Give me number 91. Politico. What is it about Politico that gets my attention? Oh, total awarded amount $8.2 million. Let's just put that out there because I can understand they must be protesting why money is going to journalists, why money from USAID is going into media outlets, maybe, right? Let's see, where is that one? Give me, I had it here a minute ago. Yeah, give me video 13.
So upon coming out here to the briefing room, I was made aware of the funding from USAID to media outlets, including Politico, who I know has a seat in this room. And I can confirm that the more than $8 million taxpayer dollars that have gone to essentially subsidizing subscriptions to Politico on the American taxpayers' dime will no longer be happening. The DOJ team is working on canceling those payments now. Again, this is a whole of government effort to ensure that we are going line by line when it comes to the federal government's books. And this president and his team are making decisions across the board on, do these receipts serve the interests of the American people? Is this a good use of the American taxpayers' money? If it is not, that funding will no longer be sent abroad, and American taxpayers will see significant savings because of that effort.
So what do you mean by signing up for what? What was that? So to sign up for Politico? Look, I'm trying to get $50 here and there. I'm trying to get a 50, 100 to tell you the truth. These people, what they would do is they had Politico registrations where you become you could become a subscriber, subscriptions, right? So where you see the Washington Post and they send you $1 for 99 days, whatever. New York Times, $1 for 30 days, and then it's $18.99 a month, whatever. They had subscriptions where they kept piling up 10 grand for a subscription. Anyhow, $8.2 million went there. OMB, they are freaking out. They talk about Elon Musk. Let's go through here and I'm going to tell you what's happening. Give me number one, CIA. No stone unturned. CIA, we're going to go through this. So, CIA sent White House unclassified emails with some employees' first names and last initials. Cleaning house. CIA, Ratcliffe, you can leave. You can leave. We're going to clean house. CIA. There's one. Then there's the shutting down. Number two. The Department of Education and sending the money back to the states. Now, every single thing you see is a slush fund of where they steal. And I'm gonna give you the final on it in a minute, where they steal. So here's Peter Doocy the other day asking President Trump, video one.
Why nominate Linda McMahon to be the Education Department Secretary if you're going to get rid of the education?
Because I told Linda, I hope you do a great job and put yourself out of a job. I want her to put herself out of a job. Education Department. So we're ranked number 40 out of 40 schools, right? We're ranked number 1 in cost per pupil. So we spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. And we're ranked at the bottom of the list. We're ranked very badly. And what I want to do is let the states run schools. I believe strongly in school choice, but in addition to that, I want the states to run schools. And I want Linda to put herself out of a job.
I want Linda to put herself out of a job. Give me video 2.
Administration is reportedly working on an executive order that would eliminate the education department. The question there is, can the president actually close the department without congressional approval? Probably not. And we'll bring you the latest.
65, please. 65. Now, he wants it to go back to the states. And I agree. There will be federal funds that go back to the states, but the Department of Education gone. All right. And nowhere any of these networks have run the story. The U.S. Department of Education issues statement on nation's report card. Today, the U.S. Department of Education released the following statement. Today's NAEP results revealed heartbreaking reality for American students. We did this the other day. We have not recovered from COVID. You know what they did to our kids. The Department of Education needs to end immediately. I tell you, I'm give you every reason why they're freaking out. Now, go to number 4. We're going to go through the packages. If you're getting fentanyl, if you're getting something from China, we are going to go through the packages. U.S. Postal Service suspends parcels from China and Hong Kong. Go do the research. These people are doing amazing work in D.C., China and Hong Kong. Yeah, but, he's doing some things that seem to be China favorable. Well, let me tell you something. You're not shipping through our mail system fentanyl or drugs or things that you should not be. You're not going to bring it through the northern border, and you're not bringing it through the southern border, okay? Now, moving right along. Number 5, CIA offers the buyout. Director John Ratcliffe is moving swiftly to ensure the CIA workforce is responsive to the administration's national security priorities. Now, they want to tell you that all of these cabinet, first of all, I don't have time, but our school system and our media have really, really destroyed our children by not teaching them the powers of the executive branch, the cabinet positions that fall under the executive branch, the authorities that fall under the executive branch. Are there some things Trump's doing that they may push back in court? That's why we have a Supreme Court to work through these things. But Trump is not asking any of his nominees to do it his way. He's asking all of these agencies to restore confidence, put back confidence that the American people have lost in these agencies, and be beholden to the people, not him. Crazy. Okay, number 6. What the Department of Education does, this is what they want you to believe, sends money to public schools between 6 and 13% of total funding. Manages college financial aid and student loans. Oh, that's what we need. There's another slush fund. Every single day, we already know the funds out there that they steal from on a daily basis. Collects data on colleges and students. Tracks students' achievement for a nation's report card. Oh, yeah, you got to have that. Number 7, deadline for federal workers to take buyout offer is today. Number 8, DEI, Google removing hiring goals targeting diversity. Look at the Chiron. Look at the way they spin it. Number 10, Attorney General Pam Bondi quickly aligns DOJ with Trump agenda. So here is MSNBC video 5.
Sworn in as the new U.S. Attorney General yesterday in an Oval Office ceremony attended by President Trump and administered by Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. This was the first cabinet swearing-in ceremony that the president himself has attended, and Trump praised Bondi's record there as a prosecutor and said she'll restore impartial justice at the department.
I think she's going to be as impartial as you can possibly be. I know I'm supposed to say she's going to be totally impartial with respect to Democrats, and I think she will be as impartial as a person can be. I'm not sure if there's a possibility of totally, but she's going to be as total as you can get. She's going to end the weaponization of federal law enforcement and restore honesty and integrity at the DOJ and the FBI.
Now, almost immediately after the swearing-in, the Attorney General got to work. Bondi issued more than a dozen directives aimed at overhauling the Department of Justice. In one memo, she created the Weaponization Working Group to review the cases brought up against President Trump, including the special counsel cases and the Manhattan hush money case. Another memo was focused on rooting out DEI, surprise, surprise, within the department, ordering a review of all policies that were based on race or sex. Joining us.
Hit the ground running. Hit the ground running. Pam Bondi is already the weaponization of the department and other. Go read all of the orders that Pam Bondi has already put out for the DOJ. This is the first. I don't know if it is the last. This is the first swearing in of a cabinet member in the Oval Office, and Trump attended. This is the first one that Donald Trump attended, and it happened in the Oval Office. So Pam Bondi is number 15. Go take a look-see, a flurry of orders, all right? Oh, she's aligned with Trump. That's all they know how to say. Restoring America, making America great again, America first, protecting you and I, okay? The justice for all. No, none of that applies. Give me number 16. New Attorney General moves to align Justice Department with Trump. Here it is, number 17. Pam Bondi instructs Trump DOJ to criminally investigate companies that do DEI. So there's a lot of headlines here that... Number 21, DOJ versus FBI. Day one on the job, 23. Number 25, Labor Department. Workers fear they're next on DOJ to-do list. Yes, they are. They're next. Everyone is next. Okay? Give me number 27. U.S. Department of Labor manages sensitive data related to unemployment claims. Do you know the millions, I'll say millions, I won't go billions and billions, the millions stole from unemployment during COVID? Wow. Health and disability insurance. Workplace health and safety investigations, wage theft, child labor. Put that kid to work. I don't care if he is 7 years old. Put him to work. No, please relax, okay? And I'm going to give you Democracy Forward. Go look up Democracy Forward, okay? So, now, we had that one. Government, number 29, government union sue over DOJ access to Labor Department. And here is one, number 31, DOJ broadens sweep for federal agency gains access to health payment systems. And let me see if I have that one before I move on. Here it is. Just a moment there, Baba Louie. That's the federal workers. Whoa, what was that? Oh, 40,000. Number 40,000 have taken the deal so far. We've already cut 40,000. This, number 41, DOJ staffers gaining access to health payment systems. All right. Number 42, tightly contains sensitive financial information about all of the hospital physicians, other organizations that have financial relationships with the programs such as Medicare, Medicaid, and the Affordable Care Act. Folks, look, I'm tired of crying about this administration, that administration. I'm tired of talking about the third rail you can't touch. When it comes to payments where hospitals, I'm just going to say this. You go, there's entire cities that their whole economy runs off the medical system, major hospitals, major clinics, and the money's coming through the government. Yes, the fraud in hospitals, the fraud in affordable care, Medicaid, Medicare, it's enormous. Now, they can go in, just for those that have that fear, they can go in and clean all that out and never disrupt you and the services or the health care or the benefits or the entitlements, whatever you want to call them, that you expect. Don't get nervous. But it's a must to clean house. All right, so number 45, Senate demands Dems plot U.S. aid revenge on Trump. Number 46, John Kerry there. Protesters, lawmakers rally against Trump. Now, USAID, we've talked about the regime change. RFK Jr., we talked about the money spent in Ukraine through USAID. It's a CIA. We know that, right? But they want to lie to us. They had a protest yesterday, and I don't want to waste time on this program running all their nonsense. I watched it, but give me the protest. Who elected Elon Musk? Number 4. Video 4.
Who elected Elon Musk to anything?
What Elon Musk is doing is illegal. Only an act of Congress can eliminate USAID because Congress is who created USAID.
The assaults of Elon Musk and Donald Trump and his billionaires and the energy executives is not an accident. They want to gut these efforts to make money, to make profit. We will not cooperate.
More Democratic lawmakers yesterday there speaking out against Elon Musk's takeover of federal agencies. It comes as the DOGE team is now targeting critical healthcare systems. And the question is, will Congress do anything to stop the billionaire and his staff? Plus, the Justice...
All right, so I'm going to explain to you what's happening in a minute. Okay? They are freaking out. Now, what they got to do is they got to come out. They know no one believes their stuff anymore. They got to lead you to believe that the kids are being killed. All right? They're dying. Here you go. We'll start with Morning Joe, video 9.
Two questions this morning. Question number 1, when are we going to finally see the lawsuits move on USAID and actually an injunction that stops all of those actions right now that are literally, unless the reports are exaggerated, literally killing people across the globe right now, this morning, this instant. When does that injunction come? Because the richest dude in the world, just because he wants to, doesn't have the right to shut down a federal agency. Mike Johnson knows that.
When are we going to stop the killing? You know Elon Musk is now killing kids. In fact, video 17, starving and killing them.
There really is something so horrifying about a child starving in Sudan being far more likely to starve to death because the world's richest man is going around calling people that are administering that aid worms. And let me explain this again for those who have ears to hear. David Ignatius.
95. Republicans block. All right. Republicans block Musk from congressional subpoena. Right. House committee. They freaked out. It devolves into shouting match over Elon Musk's subpoena. They want to subpoena Elon Musk. They're freaking out. Go ahead and give me, do you have video 15? Were you able to do that one?
Who is this unelected billionaire that he can attempt to dismantle federal agencies, fire people, transfer them, offer them early retirement, and have sweeping changes to agencies without any congressional review, oversight, or concurrence. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, given his prominence and his importance, I move that the committee subpoena Elon Musk to come before it as a witness at the earliest possible moment. And I so move.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Chair recognizes Dr. Fox.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to table the motion.
There's
I
a
second.
motion to table. Is there a
Mr.
second?
Chairman.
Second by
Point of
Mr.
order.
Higgins.
Point of order,
Now,
Mr.
the
Chairman.
motion is not debatable, as many
Point of order, Mr.
are in
Chairman.
favor of tabling. Point of order. State your point.
Mr. Chairman, I think it's outrageous that this committee will not even entertain a motion.
No, you state Mr. your Chairman, that's not a point of order.
Somebody
You know,
who's
I
breaking the law and dismantling our federal agencies, hiring federal agents, data, and you will not even entertain a motion to bring this to the president.
As many as are in favor of tabling.
Yes,
signify.
let's have order in this
Mr.
country.
Stansberry, you're out of order. You know you're out of order. You know the rules of this committee. There's been a motion.
Mr.
and a
Elon
second to
Musk is
table.
out of
Now,
order and dismantling.
He's out of order.
I call the question.
There's been a motion and second. Motion by Dr. Fox, second by Mr. Higgins to table. All those in favor of tabling signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying no.
No.
In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it and the motion
Mr.
is
Chairman,
tabled.
I ask for a recorded
A
vote.
recorded vote is ordered. Will the clerk please tally the report?
Give me 81. They want to round up the muskie. They want to. Get out there and round that muskie up. We got a muskie on the loose. They want to round up the muskie. They sure do. Doge goes after Medicare and Medicaid, as Elon Musk calls it, a source of big money fraud. This is true. Now, listen, they want to go after the muskie, okay? We never subpoena George Soros. We don't subpoena his son. We never, look at Samantha Powers, USAID, which will be subpoenaed soon, maybe in prison. Look at all the people, Susan Rice in Biden's administration, Valerie Jarrett right down the street. I mean, they want to talk about Elon Musk. What is kind of humorous is they all hate him, and then they get in their Teslas. They helped participate making him the wealthiest man in the world. They all get in their Teslas to go home, and they're angry, and they want him arrested, subpoenaed, and put in jail immediately. Round up the muskie, as they say. Okay, so give me this one here. That was 81. I have just a couple more I want to show you before we go into, here is, we have you got the meltdown. Did we do 94? Did we put up 94? If we did, that's okay. And we've got the meltdown. Here's the Schumer. Here's the Schumer, 87. Here he is. Blow this place up. Frustrated Democrats want the Senate to fight harder. And Schumer's out there. And Maxine Catcher's mitt, Leatherface is out there. They're all out there and they're screaming, get the Muskie, get the Muskie. I'll tell you why in just a moment. Now, so the bottom line is, you ready? Here's what's happened. And I got to get out. Here's what's happened. Let's see what 110 and then 105. Okay. Mark Esper, his security detail has been ended. Mark Esper. We'll leave it there. So Chuck Schumer will say they come in, right? And they got the Voight or Russell, whatever, OMB. They got the Muskie. They got Pam Bondi in there now. They got Ratcliffe. RFK coming soon to a theater near you. Tulsi Gabbard. And they've been called in. And this is the general statement. Do you realize Biden didn't pardon everyone? Do you realize at the rate they're going, someone's going to jail? Do you realize that? Once they comb through USAID and track it back, who in this room wants to go to prison? Right? Now, Cory Booker from New Jersey, I'm for sure you would like a couple days in prison, in a men's prison. Just saying. But you don't want to stay long. I'm telling you right now, they are freaking out because my hopes, my dreams is I really think they're bouncing off the wall because they could go to prison. Now, 2 weeks ago, it's coming. 2 weeks ago, the Biden administration leaves. They kill 1 million birds. They have set up the bird flu. They set it up. They killed 1 million chickens. Give me video 3.
And of course, there's just the bully pulpit and the message he could send about vaccines and other health issues going forward, including this current bird flu outbreak we're in right now.
Yeah, that's going to be such a crucial test that could come on the horizon for RFK Jr., again, likely to be confirmed here by the Senate.
You know, we got that bird flu out there. Got that bird flu and RFK Jr. coming. We are hanging that bird flu out there. Now, the eggs, I said jokingly, 100,000 eggs, right? I are get out, but 100,000 eggs were stolen from a, where are they at? Where are those eggs? The incredible edibles. Well, maybe I can't find them, but that's neither here nor there. Eggs, 100,000 stolen in Pennsylvania, 40,000 worth, $40,000 worth of eggs stolen in Pennsylvania, right? Birds killed. Eggs is where people connect at the cash register. We talked about that. They've done this on purpose. Everything is laid out on purpose. Now, video 6. I don't know how long we're going to play this one. It is quite lengthy. I don't think we're going the distance on this, but video 6, let's play a little of this for you.
Back, dairy cows in Nevada have tested positive for the latest strain of the bird flu that's been linked to severe infections in people. Bird flu is already being blamed for the egg shortage in the U.S. People have been standing in long lines for the chance to buy what they can, as CNN's Nick Watt shows us.
You can have 2. Frank Hilliker is rationing his eggs. The line forms around 7 a.m. How many eggs do you eat?
Myself, probably three a day.
What?
Yeah.
That's a lot, no?
That's a normal amount.
2 dozen? The average American eats about 284 eggs a year. Well, they used to. You're consciously dialing back on the eggs?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Because of the price?
Right.
President Donald Trump claims the high price of eggs helped him win the White House.
They would double and triple the price over a short period of time. And I won an election based on that.
He made wild promises.
We're going to bring prices way down, and we'll get it done fast.
And he got egged in the first White House briefing.
Egg prices have skyrocketed since President Trump took office.
Democratic lawmakers urged him in a letter to crack down on corporate profiteering.
They put price controls on things, but now all of a sudden we're Cuba or Venezuela. You know, who wants to be like that?
Waffle House just introduced a temporary 50-cent egg surcharge. And Roberto's Tacos, round the corner from Frank's Farm, is charging customers an extra $1.50 for all eggy dishes.
Who are they blaming?
Well, they take it out on me.
Smells rather noticeable.
What smell?
Do you eat a lot of them?
No. They're too expensive. It's gone from...
It killed 1 million birds. The bird flu is out there. Eggs are short demand right now, high demand, shortage. Prices through the roof. It's at the cash register where Americans connect. Are they sending a signal we can shut things down if we choose to? All right, this is going on today, number 13. Give me number 13, then go to number 12. 13. There we go. ICE is raiding the Denver area apartment buildings. Remember, everything was fine there. If that's 13, give me 12. And there you go. 100 members of the violent Venezuelan gang Trans de Agua were targeted for arrest and detention in Aurora, Colorado today by ICE. I didn't think they had a problem out there. Remember that? So now give me number 110. We got to close. We got to get to the Georgia hour. I will not attend the G20 summit in Johannesburg. South Africa is doing very bad things. All right. Let's see. My job is to advance Americans' national interests, not waste taxpayer money or coddle anti-Americanism. The Secretary of State will not be going to South Africa to the G20. I like that. And, look, number 105. Michael's looking rough. I'll tell you. Michael Obama has broken cover in his first video on Instagram. You wanted me to say that. You wanted me to say it. So Michael Obama is not aging well. Interesting. So we will be back momentarily with about 40 minutes, as we call the Georgia Hour, a condensed version, but you don't want to miss it. There's trouble in paradise under the Gold Dome, and we have maybe the exclusive on it. Take a break.
Days Chevrolet Jasper is North Georgia's business elite commercial truck giant. Box trucks, landscape trucks, flatbed and heavy hauling trucks. When you've got a job to do, we've got the commercial truck for you. And get a federal tax credit up to 100% of the purchase price. Hundreds of commercial trucks are all right here at Days Chevrolet Jasper. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, thank you for joining us for the Georgia Hour. We appreciate it every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. We do the Georgia Hour. We're going to do an abbreviated version today. Tomorrow we will have a full hour on this program. I'm your host, BKP. Now, first of all, President Trump yesterday, and I'm going to put all this together and we will go into great detail tomorrow. But under the Gold Dome, there's a couple things. One, in Georgia, we have our budget, and I'm going to explain the budget that is happening today. And I hope, like anything, some people put some pressure on their lawmakers about the budget. Second, wasteful spending. Now, yesterday, number 78, the President of the United States, signed an executive order to protect girls' sports. Pretty simple. But who was in the room yesterday? Now, number 109, Greg Bluestein. Now, I understand these two guys. I understand this is these both these guys. The cheese is maybe phony. Now, the guy in the white hair is the guy that should resign immediately, John Burns, Speaker of the House. And then, okay, there's the guy on the other side, and he's the Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones. Now, Burt Jones, the Lieutenant Governor, has aspirations. His goal is to be the next governor of Georgia. But to be the next governor of Georgia, it may be to his benefit that he could go out there. I want to come back to this number, so remember it. And he could brag about this, number 92, SB1. He could say, we took the lead on protecting girls' sports, the state Senate. That's what he could do. But for some reason, and I think I know why, John Burns has pulled. Now, this vote is on the floor today for Senate Bill 1. But John Burns' county pulled the carpet out from under the Georgia State Senate on protecting girls' sports. Is it because that's what John Burns believes in? Or is he trying to get back at Burt Jones a couple weeks ago when Burt Jones walked in to his office and said, Colton Moore, this ends today? You don't know, but something bad has happened. Now, I understand Greg Dolezal, all right? I understand a certain individual wanted their name on the bill, right? And that would be number 99, Riley Gaines. So I think on SB1, Riley Gaines wanted it named. And I think I say this, she wanted SB1 named the Riley Gaines bill. Interesting. So I think also Frontline, right? The Frontline group, 1 Corinthians 9:24, I'm not going to make any comments. They wanted SB1 to have their backing and the name Riley Gaines on it, and I don't think they would do that. So what do? Let's put it all together. What do? You have SB1 over in the Senate. Greg Dolezal's carrying the bill for Lieutenant Governor, and he's the head of the committee, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, to protect girls' sports in Georgia. So that's well in advance, ready to go, worked on, ready for a vote. But then the whole Colton Moore thing happens. Now look at the dates. Now this was January 31st, right? January 30th, January 31st, confirmed Speaker Riley Gaines, Frontline. Now, 100. Not just putting this together. You stop and think about this. So, Diane, can you do me a favor? And if it doesn't pop up, don't worry about it. Can you get me the date that Colton Moore was thrown to the floor? If you can't, that's all right. But then, on January 30th, John Burns, the Speaker of the House, is invited to Frontline with Riley Gaines as a speaker. What's going on here? The Senate has the bill. The Senate has the bill. Greg Dolezal has the bill. They vote on it. They move it over to the House. The House might adjust it, send it back. Then they pass SB 1, goes to the governor's desk. Governor signs SB 1, and the Lieutenant Governor, Burt Jones, gets to go campaign and say, I got SB 1 signed. I got protecting girls' sports. Not so fast, Burt. Hang on there, Burt. So, January 16th. So what you're telling me is January 16th, Colton Moore got his ass thrown on the floor, a little wrestling hold there, by Keith Williams. And then Burt Jones goes home, because I watched it, and his kid said to him, Daddy, what's going on? Why is there WWE wrestling right there? What is happening in our state? And he put him on the couch and said, children, let me explain some of the ugly things that happen in this world. And then Burt Jones marched right into John Burns' office the next morning and said, look, when I go home and my children watch this and they want, you have to immediately, I'm very firm with John Burns and told him immediately, you let Colton Moore back in there. And he said, okay, I will. I'll let him back in there. But I will figure out the payment. Okay, maybe this will all happen. I just, like, this is the way I think. So, here's what I'll do, knowing you want to run for governor. I heard the word that you won't put Riley Gaines' name on the bill. And I heard the word that, Riley Gaines wants to be on the bill, and Frontline Policy Action is going to have Riley Gaines. I will go there the same time. We will at that time announce that the House will be putting together a bill to save girls' sports, and we'll call it, what in the hell will we call it? I'm sure we could think of something. 111, please. Right? Why, we could call it the Gaines Act, Riley Gaines Act. HB 267. This bill to be entitled an act to amend various titles of the official code, blah, 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 so to provide for separate restrooms and changing areas for males, females in schools, blah, blah, blah. We could call this the Riley Gaines Act. That's what we could do. And then what we could do is we could pull the carpet out from under Burt, and we can have a press conference, and we can invite all of our House members and the ones that are not busy. Give me number 64. The ones that are not busy can show up and stand behind us, and we can announce to the world that the House has the Riley Gaines Act. Then what we can do is we can have Cole from Frontline, you can't make this up, I forget his last name, 63, come to the podium and pat Burns on the back and thank the Speaker of the House, not for Keith Williams, going after Colton Moore, not after him allowing that, right? But for naming it the Riley Gaines Act and putting it forward. So where does this go from here? So I was there 2 days ago, they have this big announcement. Hell, Now, this morning, we have the vote going on, right? We have the vote going on. Oh, there's trouble in paradise under the Gold Dome. Yes, there's rumor. I better not go into rumor. So 92, we have the Senate. And what do we have? We have another Christian organization. We have Frontline, Policy. Then we have Faith and Freedom. Now, they're supposed to be Christian organizations, but they don't speak to me. They don't speak to your host. No, either one of them. Either one of them would even speak to me. I'll tell you what I think, not in an ugly way, of both of them one of these days. 98. So, action, right? Georgia Faith and Freedom Coalition. The Georgia State Senate is scheduled to consider SB 1 tomorrow by Senator Greg Dolezal. The legislation builds on a 2020 work, Brian Kemp and Representative Will Wade, blah, blah, blah. So SB 1 is going to be the first out of the box to be voted on today. Faith and Freedom have put out a statement, please vote yes on it. I have not seen Frontline put out a statement, or Riley Gaines or John Burns saying vote yes on this. So yesterday, is it a coincidence that John Burns is just really putting a knife in Burt Jones' back and twisting it? So yesterday, the president signs this, and let's get back to what we're talking about. So here's John Burns, 101. Now, I want to know who keeps putting, and I want this question out there, who keeps putting John Burns' name on the White House guest list? Who in Georgia is doing that? I want to know. I want you to find out who's putting this man's name, because last week he got invited to the White House. This guy here that should be kicked out of the House of Representatives in Georgia, he got invited to the White House last week for the Laken-Riley Act signing. This week he gets invited. Why? Riley Gaines. So grateful for a president of the United States leadership to protect the integrity of girls' sports and female athletes across the nation. We're looking forward to codifying these protections here in Georgia with not SB 1, no, the Riley Gaines Act. Hell, you say. Now, so then Burt Jones was there. Give me 102. Thank you, President of the United States, for inviting me to join for this historic moment. The executive order protects women's sports and the ability to compete. He looks forward to Georgia Senate joining the administration and passing SB 1. Fair and safe. Why, hell, you say. So for years, we couldn't get either one of your asses to protect our girls in sports. But now all of a sudden, we got two competing bills. Check the timing. Check the dates. Wow. John Burns, boom. Riley Gaines, boom. Cole, Frontline, boom. We'll show you. What the hell's going on? What a political mess with serious things happening. Oh, no, you can't talk to them about elections. Oh, no. Yeah, they don't have an appetite for that. Their appetite's gone for elections. No. But this, now, I have asked several people, because I've heard, when I say I've heard, I've actually sent out messages to several people. I've heard that both of them, let's go back to the picture of the two of them with, I'm just going to call it a fake smile. Right there, 109. All right. I hear the both of them flew a private charter not together. So could you please work on that? Get me some real info. I hear Bert took a private charter and Burns took a private charter. I'd like to know if that's true, if the two of them traveled independently on a private charter, and who paid for it. So the last thing on this before I close it, I understand the governor of Georgia will be signing the House bill. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Governor Kemp will be signing the House bill, the Riley Gaines Act, from the House. This is a major fight, and that would put a real knife in Burt Jones' back. And by the way, I don't think the governor, Brian Kemp, or Marty, if they really like Burt. So we'll leave that there hanging. Now, second, you ready? The budget. Where is that? I had it here. Okay. Now, number 113. I just want to explain this briefly. I have asked, I really wish, instead of sensationalizing the drive-bys, the storm chasers, the pretend journalists, instead of some of the stuff they're chasing, I really wish they would tour into this. House panel approves $40.5 billion mid-year state budget. Now, what is a mid-year state budget? All right. So let me tell you this. The fiscal year of Georgia closes July 1st. That's when all the new bills go in, the last day of June. All right. That's the end of the fiscal year. That's why all the new laws go into effect July 1st, so on and so forth, the new budget. What they do in every legislative session is they pass a budget for the following year, the next year. But when they first come in the session, the first thing they do is amend the last budget. That's what they do. Now, by the Georgia State Constitution, they cannot outspend anticipated tax funds or revenue. We'll call it revenue. So they cannot, right? They cannot spend more than anticipated tax revenue. So for the next year, after July, when July 1st comes, that has to be done on anticipated. Then what happens in January when they come in, they adjust the budget. So it's called House Panel Approves Mid-Year State Budget. What they're doing, the Constitution says we have to balance it. So they always know they're going to come back and they're going to bump this sucker up. So this is a budget adjustment from last year. The Georgia House approved a $40.5 billion mid-year budget that includes funding for prison improvements, Hurricane Helene. The budget increased state spending by $4.4 billion, with $2.7 billion coming from state surplus. Now, I'll leave it there. Let me put this one. The budget also includes $1 billion income tax rebate and $1.7 billion for transportation and water projects. $2.7 billion coming from surplus. So they're taking your surplus money and they're increasing spending with your money. And they're going to give you a fraction back. They're going to send you a fraction back, and they're going to talk about tort reform, and they're going to talk about tort reform. I'll get into that a little more tomorrow. And they're going to talk about cutting your taxes and sending the hardworking Georgians money back to you. That's what we're going to do. But $2 billion is coming out of surplus. So we don't have this money. This is your surplus. All of it's your money, but this is your surplus. So I really wish, this is today, this will be voted on today, the budget mid-year. I really wish we had a team that just studied this budget, because these are not conservatives. It's increasing, right? $4.4 billion adjusted. Can't make that up. Can't make that up. All right. Now, give me number, let's see what, 114. Now, Let's see. We're up in correctional officers. I want to get into that later. So that is the budget. We're doing a mid-year right now. That's all that is a budget adjustment from last year. That's it. Adjusting the budget. So when they pass the new budget, like when they go up so many billions of dollars, and then this right here is another $4 billion on top of what they went up last year. Just saying. So, and then they say we're going to have our own Doge. All right, now going around the internet, I'm going to clear this up before I leave. Going around the internet. All right, 96. We're going to talk about this tomorrow because I'm going to be asking the state election board chairman for a meeting one-on-one. Okay. I'm going to be asking for one-on-one, and I'm going to lay this out, and I'm going to have a meeting with the state election board chairman if he will have that meeting, because we got a lot of stuff going on there, and we can't get lawmakers. They're fighting over who's going to protect girls' sports. Like that should be a no-brainer. Who's going to get credit for it, and so forth, and who's going to sign the bill? Whose bill will they sign? Now, what's going around the internet, and we've got about 6 or 7 minutes, and it won't take long. I have seen people going around the internet. In fact, somebody sent this to me this morning. I will show you. And the reason we're going to discuss this right now is because, yes, he is. Yes, he is. I agree with you. Thank you very much. These viewers are amazing. Okay, so this is a headline. It was sent to me. There's 2 different ones that I'm aware of that's going around. All right. And it's going around, and I don't want to attack the publication, but I felt after the 3rd time on one of them and the 2nd time on another that I've got to address this because, all right, Senator Colton Moore files for arrest warrant against Keith Williams, Burns staff member who threw Senator Moore on the ground January 16th. Okay. He did throw him on the ground January 16th. He is Keith Williams, the staff member for John Burns. But it says Colton Moore files arrest warrant against Keith Williams. Okay. Now, this is just all that's out there. At this hour, sources are reporting that Senator Colton Moore has filed an arrest warrant for the assault against Keith Williams, the so-called general counsel for John Burns, who threw Senator Moore on the ground on January 16th while preventing him from entering the Georgia House of Representatives for the joint session. We will report the details when we get them. So I got that probably 5 or 6 times. Hey, did you see this? Then I got this one. Let's say I got this one probably the same amount. I got this one the same amount, and I'm going to, let's see, where's it at? Come on, BKP. You got it here somewhere. Where's it at? Hold on. I'll find it. I'll find it here, Baba Louie. Maybe I don't have it right. Maybe I have it right here. Hold on. If it takes, I'll bypass it if it takes 30 more seconds. I'll let it go if it takes 30 more seconds. Breaking news. Colton Moore has filed the arrest documents. Now, first of all, let me say this, okay? If you're reporting out there, and this is where it's sad journalism, and this is where I tell you, Georgia, I'm disappointed. But if you are going to say filed arrest documents, Where are those documents? Don't put that out there if you can't say documents. John Burns, General Counsel Keith Williams, is facing criminal warrant in Fulton County. Okay. Now, what happens with this? I don't know. So we'll see how it develops. But what concerns me is when somebody can't take 5 minutes. Now, I try to tell people this. I left this alone because I didn't see no need to go into it until this started getting out and you started sending it to me. Give me number 71. Now, do you realize when you cross to the Capitol and the building, the Coverdale building across the street, and when you hit that crosswalk and it says Capitol Square, right? Now, in a roundabout way, the citizens of Georgia own the Capitol, but you don't own the Capitol. It's just like Gilmer County citizens, you don't own the courthouse, but you got to pay for the courthouse. Why? Well, it's really owned by a building authority, and they get really upset if you talk about it. No, it belongs to the citizens. No. You are bound to pay the payments for that courthouse, but it's truly owned by the building authority. Okay? And if you don't make the payments, they can come after you. Now, here's the thing. This is Georgia Code 35-2-121. You guys can look up, some of you, all right? Jurisdiction, duties, and powers. The division shall have jurisdiction and primary duty to enforce all laws, right, in Capitol Square and the property and buildings, your Capitol, owned by the Georgia Building Authority within 5-mile radius of Capitol Square. The Georgia Building Authority owns your Capitol. Now, you got to remember this. I'm not okay with what happened to Colton Moore. Please do not think that. But you got to remember that happened right there inside the Capitol. No one has authority. Fulton County does not have authority. Okay? Does not have authority inside that Capitol. No law enforcement agency has authority inside that Capitol. It's Capitol Police. All right? The division shall have the following additional duties: to maintain peace and order, enforce the laws and regulations related to controlling access to any buildings or property under control or operation of the Georgia Building Authority. All right. Next one. Next. Give me number 70, Diane. To maintain peace and order and enforce the laws and regulations related to controlling access to Capitol Square, to enforce parking traffic laws, and to investigate accidents within Capitol Square, to enforce state law when ordered to do so by the Commission, to exercise the powers of law enforcement officer to protect life and property. Now, they have all authority inside that Capitol. In performance of their duty, certified law enforcement officers shall be authorized to carry firearms and exercise the power of arrest. The power of arrest is vested in them. It belongs to them, the Capitol Police, inside that Capitol. Now, one more, because I got to get out. Number 69. No outside law enforcement does not have jurisdiction inside the Georgia State Capitol because the Capitol Police Division is responsible for enforcing laws in that area. No outside law enforcement. So when somebody says Fulton County, no. When somebody says he filed, now I don't know the details. I haven't talked to him. And Keith Williams may get arrested. He may. But I'm telling you right now, I'm going to show you explanation. The Capitol Police Division's jurisdiction is limited to Capitol Square and the property building owned by the Georgia, see, the building's owned by the Georgia Building Authority within a 5-mile radius. The Capitol Police Division primary duty is to enforce all laws in the area. The Capitol Police Division also maintains peace and order and enforces laws and regulations related to controlling access to the area. They have the power of arrest. It falls under them. This Capitol Square is owned by the Georgia Building Authority. That's who owns the Capitol you walk in. They have the authority. Now, ask this question, because I did and I got an answer. So ask this question. I called someone and I said, were you there when Colton Moore was processed into the Fulton County Jail? Now, some people don't understand. Even if you are picked up in Dahlonega, you get processed through the Lumpkin County Sheriff's Office or county jail. If you get picked up in Ellijay, you get arrested by the East Ellijay Police. The East Ellijay Police have to go to the Gilmer County Jail and file, the arrest warrant there. But it goes through your county. So Colton Moore, for those out there that don't check, Colton Moore did go to the Fulton County Jail because that's where all processing is done regardless of the authority that arrested him, municipality, whatever. So that being said, I asked an individual, I said, were you not down at the jail when he was processed? And this person said, yes, but we did have to wait. We did have to wait for the Capitol Police to arrive to press the charges. So double check that the charges that were pressed on Colton Moore were pressed by the Capitol Police. Check that out. Just do your research. Tell me. Then stop and think. If Keith Williams is arrested, why has he not been arrested? And I'm not taking up. They're corrupt as hell. John Burns should resign. Keith Williams should be fired. All right? They should all be marched out in handcuffs. But I don't like when I see things out there and there's not clarification. So ask yourself, find out if when Colton Moore was arrested and processed in Fulton County, if the Capitol Police did that. And then find out if the Capitol Police is who he has approached to arrest Keith Williams. Very important pieces of information that are not getting out there. But I thought it would be important today to let you know only the Capitol Police have the authority inside that building. Only. You can't go outside the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. No, they don't have the authority. So I'm your host. I will see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Diane, thank you for everything. I appreciate all the jumping around and you being there for me. I hope you have a nice afternoon. I'm out.
All right, so I just have a little bit that I'm just going to share with you today. Not a whole lot. It's been a busy morning for me. So we're just going to do a quick look at I know this is Politico, but seems to be pretty good to be up to date. Although it doesn't have Pam Bondi on there yet. But we know she's been confirmed. It takes about 24 hours for this to get updated. So we've got the State Treasury, Defense, the AGs, the Interior, DOT, Energy, Department of Homeland Security, EPA, and CIA. This is the one that they're scared of, Russell Vought. We're waiting on, of course, Kennedy, Gabbard, and Kash Patel. So hopefully they can get through their committees. Well, I know, I'm pretty sure, I know Kennedy's gone through committee, and so has Tulsi. I haven't heard about Kash Patel yet, so we'll see. So nothing but USAID information is on the internet right now. So this is Joni Ernst at Fox. USAID is just the tip of the iceberg. Remember, we played the video yesterday saying that something big was coming out. I haven't seen it yet. Hopefully it'll come out sometime today, and then we'll be able to talk about it tomorrow. But wait until you see what the Treasury is funding. How about what the Federal Reserve is funding? And all the corruption is going to come out. So let's take a listen to what Joni has to say.
What my team and I encountered was absolute obstruction and lies coming out of USAID. They did everything possible to stop me from accessing their records to understand where our taxpayer money was going. I eventually partnered with Representative Mike McCall in the House, and we started a formal congressional investigation. And even after that, they really pushed back, only allowed us access to a small amount of data. But what we found was extreme expenditures on the part of USAID with very little data-driven results. We have seen money funded in the Wuhan Institute of Virology through dollars steered by USAID on dangerous coronaviruses. We saw how that turned out. We've seen funding going to Morocco for pottery classes, tourism in Lebanon, of all places, even when the State Department was advising against travel. I could go on and on and on.
And we'll go through some of that of what I have come up against. So USAID supported 707 news media outlets and 6,200 journalists. From the U.S. Treasury to NGOs to funding liberal media across the world. Remember how they would sound the same using the same keywords. Now you know why. Our federal government got NGOs, via NGOs, have been funding the liberal media to foist propaganda upon us. Clinton, nor Bush, nor Obama stopped this. Neither did the 99% of our congressmen and senators. USAID is less than 1% of the U.S. government's budget. Much bigger things are coming. So we played this. This is the AI video of all the money that's being sent to NGOs and how they're getting funding each other and just going, like, it's really hard to track the money. And this is an artificial intelligence model of how the money is being traced. And so let's take a listen to a little bit of this video. I think I'll be able to play it. No, it's just a screenshot. Sorry. But we've played that video of the way that the money has gone from here to there to everywhere, and all those lines represent a money trail. And then all the little dots within the circles are NGOs. So let's go to this next one. This is from a Senate candidate for California, looks like. And he brings up an article We should be asking International Republic Institute. Remember, Lindsey Graham is a board member of that. We talked about that the other day. They get $130 million from USAID. So we should ask International Republic Institute board member Senator Lindsey Graham, why would he rather give aid to other countries even when our own country is suffering? Soulless warmonger Lindsey Graham says he prefers to give funding to Israel instead of Helene victims. And this is the newspaper, the article. Oh, it's just a bigger photo. So that's kind of what we're up against. Lindsey Graham's got to go. I'm hoping that once all this USAID stuff comes, we're going to be able to get rid of a lot of these corrupt politicians. So we'll be able to have some fair elections. I think that's going to help. They're not going to get all this money that they'll be able to for campaign financing and just overspending the true patriot that wants to serve and fix all this corruption. So, Jesse Waters has done a little investigating. This is a longer video, but let's go ahead and watch. He does a really good job on his stuff.
It's only been 3 weeks and Democrats want to impeach. Today, Democrat Al Green, not the soul singer, announced he's introducing articles of impeachment against Donald J. Trump because he said he wants to turn the Gaza Strip into Gaza-Lago. Democrats were already losing their minds after Musk froze their foreign aid slush fund.
We will not shut up. We will stand up. We will speak up. We will rise up. What's dangerous is that people who work for USAID are wearing masks to protect themselves from Musk.
You know, the loudest yellers are the ones that are being funded and all their funds are being taken away. So people in these districts need to take note. Not that they will, because they are Democrats, but hopefully we can get them out.
This is a dictatorship in the making. We're not going to have apartheid in America anymore. Elon Musk has not been elected to anything.
And who the hell does Musk think he is? He has absolutely no right in shutting down USAID. We cannot allow that. We've got to take to the streets.
First and foremost, Elon Musk.
Elon's the first government employee Democrats have ever won a fire. And he's not even taking a salary. We're $36 trillion in debt, and a few pennies got doged, and the Democrats are grabbing bullhorns like Bush after 9/11. Trump and Elon are doing what you do on the first day of prison. You find the baddest guy in the cell block, and you clock him in the face. Doge froze a $40 billion deep state super PAC and put 10,000 bureaucrats on paid leave. And it happened so fast, one worker had to be rehired to process people's final timesheets. All the expensive artwork hanging in the agency headquarters has been taken down and sold at auction. The website's down, and there's no more Bert and Ernie in Baghdad.
I would just say a strong message to Democrats who are out there pretending to be outraged about the long list of crap that this administration is cutting, federal waste and funding, like $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala, $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt, $20 million on a new Sesame Street show in Iraq, $4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. I could go on, and I'm happy to provide this list to every single one of you. Democrats are outraged that the American people want to be, they want their taxpayers going to good uses, not stuff like this.
Well, we can add some more to the list. $43 million on a gas station in Afghanistan that had no customers. Still less, though, than what Biden paid for a charging station here. $1.5 million to promote gays, lesbians, and trans in Jamaica. Jamaican me crazy. $4 million for trans Serbians. $5.5 million for gay rights in Uganda. Over $6 million for men who have sex with men in South Africa. That's just how it was described. $17 million to promote inclusion in Vietnam. It's just probably another way of saying it went to trans. We carpet bombed them, and then we paid them to cross-dress. $25 million to promote green transportation in Georgia, not the state, the country. And it's not like we took the money and bought them electric cars. We just paid a shady agency to put up a billboard that says, buy electric cars. $1 million for Arab and Jewish photographers. Are you Jewish? Are you Arab? Do you have cameras? Here's a check. $8 million to teach Sri Lankan journalists how to avoid binary gendered language. Translation, we spent $8 million so that a reporter in Sri Lanka doesn't write he or she. Well, at least nobody died, right? Wrong. $122 million of the USAID money was given to terrorists. The Taliban is taxpayer funded. So was the Wuhan lab, so we're on a roll. The people spending the money can't even tell you why they're spending the money.
USAID awarded $2 million to strengthen trans-led organizations to deliver gender-affirming health care in Guatemala. So to each of you this morning, does this advance the interests of American citizens paying for trannies in Guatemala to the tune of $2 million? Yes or no? Governor?
I have no position.
Of course you don't.
$2 million for sex changes in Guatemala? Despite the blatant waste and corruption, there's a sinister side to all of the gay, lesbian, and trans money we're funneling into other countries. It's subversive. It undermines their traditional culture, their religions, and their governing authority. It divides these countries, it distracts them, and makes it easier for our government to exploit them. David Axelrod told Democrats who are defending this stuff, you're walking into a trap. Rahm Emanuel says you don't have to fight every fight. Wasteful spending isn't the hill I'm going to die on. But trans operas in Colombia are the hill Democrats have chosen to die on. Are they getting kickbacks? We're about to find out. Democrats warn Trump's unelected shadow government is dismantling their unelected shadow government. That's how the Babylon Bee puts it. Democrats have been sending your tax dollars to the World Economic Forum so they can tell us to eat bugs. The George Soros Prosecutor Fund got $26 million of your money to what, open jails? USAID brags about overthrowing governments. They bragged about supporting military coups and color revolutions in the Middle East, Asia, and Ukraine. And we just found out the Biden administration was paying the press. During the last 4 years, Politico received $26 million from the federal government. $8 million just last year. The Biden administration was paying a D.C. insider publication that happened to never report anything bad about the Biden administration. Well, what did they pay for besides good press? The government says it was for subscriptions to Politico Pro. Well, what's Politico Pro? It's supposed to give you inside scoops or exclusive reporting about the federal government. It's been around since 2010, but all of a sudden in 2021, the Biden administration starts buying hundreds of Politico Pro subscriptions. And a subscription runs anywhere from $10,000 to $75,000 a year. Those are like top-tier country club dues. For $75,000, this exclusive reporting must be pretty good, right? Now, no one ever read in Politico Pro that Biden was brain dead. Now, if I'm going to pay $75,000 for journalism, I want to know whose Coke was in the White House. Politico Pro isn't even for people in government. It's for lobbyists. You pay $75,000 a year for the name and email address of a regulator at the FDA. So you can email them, wine them, and dine them at Cafe Milano, and then grease the regs for Pfizer or Kraft or whoever your client is. You find out when the farm bill's about to pass so you can send your lobbyists into the back room and write the bill. It's not for people in the government. What do people at the Department of Energy need to pay $75,000 for to find out what's going on in the Department of Energy? Mayorkas needs to know what's going on with the border bill. All he has to do is call Chuck Schumer. The phone call's free. This doesn't make any sense. The whole thing is a racket. This was a bailout. Biden's government didn't need this. It's a payoff product. Because when they started paying at Politico, they tanked the laptop. They covered up Biden's nap times. The USAID chief, Samantha Power, Politico wrote a puff piece about her, called her a celebrity. Have you ever heard of celebrity Samantha Power? Politico didn't get paid to do journalism. They got paid to stop doing journalism. No, I read Politico. I read it every day. I like it. It's got good reporting in there. But I'm not funneling $26 million of taxpayer money over there in exchange for good coverage. I'm sure a few people at the federal government have Wall Street Journal subscriptions for $59 a year, not $75,000. And if you're trying to save a few dollars, share your password and logins with your staff. You don't get them all $75,000 a year subscriptions. Primetime reached out to Politico, and we didn't hear back. The White House says the government paying journalists, that's getting doged.
So upon coming out here to the briefing room, I was made aware of the funding from USAID to media outlets, including Politico, who I know has a seat in this room. And I can confirm that the more than $8 million taxpayer dollars that have gone to essentially subsidizing subscriptions to Politico on the American taxpayers' dime will no longer be happening. The DOGE team is working on canceling those payments now.
How critical is government funding to Politico's bottom line? Not sure. But on the day of the freeze, they couldn't make payroll for a couple hours. It's not just Politico. The New York Times got millions. BBC got money. PolitiFact was funded by the Biden administration. Biden was censoring you and funding independent fact checkers to call you a liar. Kamala took your money and paid Sharpton. Biden took your money, gave it to Politico, gave it to donors to build solar panels. The left somehow looks like one big astroturfed money laundering shell game. Remember, the CIA has a history of planning scoops with journalists.
Disseminate propaganda to influence people's minds. And this is a major function of the CIA. You have contact with a journalist, you will give him true stories, you'll get information from him, you'll also give him false stories. You also work on their human vulnerabilities to recruit them in a classic sense to make them your agent so that you can control what they do. 400 journalists cooperating with the CIA, including some of the biggest names in the business, to consciously introduce the stories into the press.
Journalists were on CIA payrolls.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to a major circulation American journal?
We do have people who submit pieces to American journals.
So if intelligence agencies, which is kind of what the USAID is financing the American media, that's state-run media. And if Kamala would have won the election, the money would have kept flowing. Politico must have known that. They wrote puff pieces about how fantastic she was. I wonder if that was connected. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Trump got elected and caught him. We're only in week 3. Who else is getting paid?
So, this is just a little bit further down, and $2 million for a Moroccan pottery class, promoting tourism in Lebanon, $20 million for Sesame Show in Iraq, sending your cranes to Paris for Fashion Week, $1.5 million in DEI in Serbia, $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala, $6 million for tourism in Egypt, transgender stuff, DEI stuff, $15 million for condoms and for the Taliban. So DOGE just exposed U.S. government has been throwing our Social Security money away to gender programs. Senator Tommy Tuberville was telling the truth. They've been spending our Social Security. It's all a scam. What happens, it comes up here and we spend it. So let's go ahead and listen to Tommy real quick.
This is all a scam. I mean, we got people that's getting ready to retire that's going to try to live off $2,000 to $3,000. Impossible. It's impossible. Because what happens, it comes up here, we spend it. We're $35 trillion in debt. We don't have any money. We're dead broke. And then taxpayers have $2 trillion in credit card debt. We are in huge trouble. In this body, we had better start figuring that out, because we're going to have a run on this city here soon, and there's going to be about 150 million people coming up here saying, where's our damn money that we paid in? I could have put my Social Security money 40 years in tax in the market and probably be worth 8 to 10 million today. But the federal government wasted it. So I'll get off my horse there. But it's good that we have this, because we got, I get a little pension check from education. I was part of a union. It's not going to help people. People are going to have to continue to work longer and longer. Am I right, Ms. Gender? Can you say something about Social Security and it being taxed for some reason? We're taxing people for the second time on the Social Security that they put into an account.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out, when Social Security was first founded, those who established it was started out as a 2% tax, and they said this will never take more than 6% of your income. Today it takes 12.4%, and depending on whether you go with CBO or Social Security trustees, it needs to take between 15.8 and 17.5%. So we're talking about thousands of dollars more per year. It also was actually only originally recommended that the tax be up to $66,000, equivalent in today's dollars of earnings. But over time, it has expanded massively, and the money has been spent every year. So whereas everybody thinks this money's been set aside for me, no, for the past 13 years, every dollar that has gone out of workers' paychecks has gone immediately to pay promised benefits. And that's what happens when you have a system that enables those in charge of it to spend the money in the immediate term and leave the buck to the next generation that's coming along. And because Social Security has grown so much, it's actually to the detriment of lower income workers in particular, who have to pay such a large share of their paycheck to Social Security. They have little left to save for retirement. And then lower income and African American workers have the lowest life expectancies. So they are the most likely to get nothing back in return. 1 out of 4 African American men will die between the ages of 45 and 64 after having paid into this system for decades, tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they might get nothing back.
What's the solution?
I think we ultimately have to shift towards a universal benefit system. That's what true social insurance is. It does not make sense that we are paying the biggest benefits to the highest income earners. So gradually over time, I think we need to bend down the benefits for the middle and upper income earners, actually increase them for the lower income earners. Look at things like indexing retirement age to life expectancy, more accurate inflation index. And I think that workers need an option to have their money in something that actually earns a positive rate of return and that can't just immediately be spent by Congress.
I have a 28 and 29-year-old, 2 boys, got a job, working hard, paying Social Security. They ask me all the time, Dad, will I ever see any of that money? Will they see it?
I think they will see some of it. That's the exact same thing I hear whenever I ask a group of younger workers, and none of them raises their hand. So I think that there will be something there, but it's not going to be what has been promised.
Mr. Stevens, you got anything to add to that?
Thank you, Senator. What I would add is, when we talk about Social Security or we talk about pensions, the two things that they both have in common is that guaranteed income. You know what you're going to get, generally speaking, at the end of it. What I reference in terms of protected retirement, we have developed now solutions that get at both of those in a very efficient way, and they also address the issue around market volatility, because we have step-ups and lock-ins, and it's a very efficient way to deliver that to millions of Americans that we've been talking, and that's all because of what you all did around Secure Act 1.0 and 2.0. They have put us in a position to do that, and that's why I'm really encouraging us to have every 401k plan, 457 plan, 403b plan at least one of those solutions, so that the American workers can choose. If they want to know what they're going to get in retirement, we can deliver that for them.
Young people of all ages ask me, why can't we put our money in our own 401k instead of put it in Social Security? Is there an answer to that?
I think what I love is that they're asking the right question. Savings in any way is a good thing, and I think there's a place for Social Security, there's a place for pensions, and there's certainly a place for what we're doing in 401k plans.
Thank you.
Senator Hassan.
Thank you.
This is all a
we'll
scam.
see what happens with Social Security. It's a big thing, you know. Is it gonna go away? Are they gonna sounds like it needs to be restructured for sure. Will it become an option that we can either stay in or get out? I don't see becoming an option we'll be able to sustain the program, because many people would just opt out. So who knows? Just a little bit of information to share with you. And this is my last thing. So apparently USAID paid Sean Penn $5 million in taxpayer dollars to meet with Zelensky and give him an Oscar.
Until we will.
When you win, bring it back to Malibu.
Great.
Yes.
Great. Okay.
Because I'll feel much better knowing there's a piece of me here.
We have to be. A moment which is very important. It's not from me. It's from Ukraine. And it's more. Yeah, please.
The President of Ukraine outstanding.
I'm sure we paid for that medal and we paid for that Oscar as well. And yet here's another one that got paid $4 million to come and meet with Zelensky. So that's what we funded. And I'm guessing everybody else that went over there got their taxpayer dollar. One person that comes to mind is Lindsey Graham getting more money. We saw all kinds of politicians over the past 4 years go over there, and they were all getting their paycheck from USAID to go over there, shake hands. Of course, probably getting the trip paid for by the U.S. tax dollar. So it was just a huge, huge scam. That's all I have for today. There's so much more. You could spend hours and hours and hours looking at all the scams that are happening, or being brought to light. There's just so much out there. It's hard to kind of focus on one thing, and I think that's the way it's going to be. I was looking, I guess it was today, on one of the chyrons, it said Trump's first 100 days. And I'm sitting there thinking, we're only on, week 3? This is week 3? Maybe it's we're into week 3 of Trump being in office, and just the amount of stuff that's come to light, and just it makes me excited to see what comes next. You open up the social media to find out, okay, kind of like what Brian was saying, you look to see what is the next thing that's come out. Oh, looky here, Angelina Jolie got $20 million, Orlando Bloom $8 million, Sean Penn 5, Stiller 4, Jean-Claude got 1.5. So I bet you all these people are pretty upset that Angelina Jolie got 20 million. But there you go. So y'all have a wonderful day. We will be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. and hopefully got you some more information that you can put in that wheelhouse and talk about, have something to talk about. Y'all have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Bye for now.